In the headlines, female gun runner arrested in Zamfara as bandits release colonel children after ransom payment. PDP presidential candidate holds strategic meeting with United Kingdom officials. 6 winners emerged after EFCC auction Lekki forfeited mansions. And on the international scene, Tigray forces begin handing over heavy weapons to Ethiopian army. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Sagir Ibrahim. Hello and welcome once again. Police tactical operatives have arrested 2 suspected gun runners identified as Emmanuel and his female counterpart Nana Ibrahim along the Gusau-Wanke Dansado Road in Zamfara State. The command's public relations officer Mohammed Shehu in a statement said the duo were intercepted while conveying 325 rounds of live ammunition and 1 AK-47 rifle magazine. Shehu said the suspects were arrested sequel to intelligence information received about the supply of the exhibit from Benue State to an undisclosed terrorist camp in Zamfara State. The PPRO noted that spot search by the operatives led to the recovery of the exhibit, adding that the suspect had, in the course of investigation, confessed to having engaged in several gun-running businesses with terrorists operating in Zamfara and other neighboring states. He disclosed that efforts are still ongoing to apprehend their partners and charge them to court for prosecution. Also, bandits in Zamfara have released Colonel Rabiu Garba Yandoto, retired, and his children after the payment of a 10 million naira ransom. Speaking to Trust TV reporter via telephone shortly after the release, the retired colonel said the bandits were given 10 million naira instead of the 5 million earlier mentioned. He thanked all those who contributed to his release. However, the retired colonel and his 2 children were abducted by bandits along Gusau Safi Road when he was returning to his village some days back. Also, residents of Sabon Ungwar in Katsina metropolis decry incessant attacks, robbery and phone snatching by miscreants locally known as Kauraye. A few days ago, hoodlums numbering about 50 attacked shops and other business centers in the area where they dispossessed shop owners of their monies and properties worth thousands of naira. Abdullahi Hamadi completes the story.
Concerned about the attacks, residents are blaming some politicians for sponsoring the miscreants ahead of 2023 general elections. Some of the politicians are reportedly shielding these Kauraye against the law, a situation many residents described as worrisome. This shop owner lost his phones and other accessories worth over 500,000 naira to Kauraye attacks recently.
Duba da yanayin da suka zo mu dai ba mu tare da wani abu na da zamu ce kai tsaye a lokacin mun kare kanmu.
I was in my shop around 8 p.m. when Kauraye numbering about 20 forced themselves into my shop and carted away phones and money. Several people sustained various degrees of injuries in the process. The residents blame security agencies and the judiciary for not ensuring proper prosecution of suspected criminals, calling on government to save the society from total collapse.
Ina tunanin abun yana da kaman zan iya cewa siyasa na.
I believe there is a disconnect between these miscreants and their parents. As such, there is the need for dialogue, and security agencies need to interface with both the Kauraye parents and residents to come up with measures aimed at mitigating the problem before it degenerates into another insecurity issue. The Katsina State Commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Muhammad Sanusi Bello, blamed parents for not doing enough to ensure moral upbringing of their children. The commandant is also given assurances that NSCDC will continue to discharge its constitutional responsibilities with high sense of professionalism.
In every ward, we have at least an outpost. Our boys are doing their best, and anytime if there's any problem in respect of Kauraye, They used to call, I have an operation officer here, whom they used to call, we give them our numbers. Immediately they call to response immediately.
While about 3 others injured are responding to treatment following clash between Kauraye and police in Sabor Ungwa quarters in Katsina City. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Well, there you have it. Also, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, on Tuesday met with members of the United Kingdom Parliament to discuss his solutions to issues that could be of concern to the European country if he is elected president next month. The former vice president, who is presently in the United Kingdom with his delegation, met with the British Minister of State for Development, Andrew Mitchell, Directors of National Security, Open Space and 7 other departmental and agency heads. According to the Director of Public Affairs of the PDP presidential campaign, Senator Dino Melaye, the sessions were robust discussions on the areas that were slated for deliberations. He said Atiku has been busy engaging Nigerians who will vote and others such as leaders of African countries in particular, saying that no other presidential candidate has had more interface with leaders than the PDP flag bearer. A senior member of the PDP presidential campaign also said on Tuesday that the government of the United Kingdom invited Atiku to discuss areas of collaboration if he wins the February 25 election. According to the source, the British government is hoping that if Atiku becomes president, the possibility exists to collaborate with him to improve and increase trade partnership with Nigeria. Also, President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday has asked residents of Yobe to vote for APC, urging parents to inculcate right values in children, including respect for constituted authorities. The All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Bola Tinubu promised to provide jobs, homes for victims of Boko Haram insurgency to Yobe State residents and the country at large. President Buhari and Tinubu addressed party supporters during All Progressives Congress presidential campaign at August 27 Stadium in Damaturu, the Yobe State capital. Buhari promised to provide fertilizer to the farmers in the state in a bid to boost food production. The APC presidential candidate said his administration, if elected, will invite processing industries in Yobe, Borno, and Northeast in general to fight poverty, insecurity, hunger, and unemployment. Speaking at the palace of the Emir of Damaturu, Shehu Hashimi Ibn El-Kanami, the president said the government will continue to protect the right of every Nigerian child to education, particularly the children displaced from their homes by Boko Haram. He also commended members of the armed forces and the police for their sacrifices in protecting the country. Take a look.
We are indeed very grateful to Almighty God that the APC, that platform, and the people of Nigeria needed a change. They needed a leadership that will care. They needed a leadership that will not show any difference, that will not segregate. And that leadership is your leadership.
They voted to give me a mandate to carry the flag of APC. And I promise you, I will carry that flag without stain. I promise you, hope, sincerity, transparency, job for our boys, revival of agriculture, hope for the hopeless.
The APC campaign train in Damaturu. Away from that, the federal government has dismissed a comment credited to an official of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, that the 2023 general elections will face a serious threat of cancellation or postponement due to insecurity. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said the position of the federal government is that security agencies are working hard to ensure peaceful conduct of the elections as scheduled.
The position of the federal government remains that the 2023 elections will be held as planned. Nothing has happened to change that position. We are aware that INEC is working with the security agencies to ensure that the elections are successfully held across the country. The security agencies have also continued to assure Nigerians that they are working tirelessly to ensure that the elections are held in a peaceful atmosphere. Therefore, there is no cause for alarm.
Still in politics, a high court in Yola presided over by Justice Mohammed Danladi stopped Senator Ishaku Abo as the APC senatorial candidate for Adamawa North Senatorial Zone for this year's election. The court stopped the senator on the ground that he was expelled from the party by his ward in Mubi North local government area of Adamawa. Justice Danladi held that the senator and APC are bound by the resolution of the All Progressives Congress Mubi North Local Government Chapter's executive, expelling him from the party on the 7th of October 2022. The court also averred that Senator Abo is not entitled to enjoy any right or privilege accorded to APC members. It would be recalled that the Mubi North local government executive of the party had on the 7th of October 2022 approved the expulsion of the senator as recommended by the party's disciplinary committee. Justice Danladi held that the plaintiff's counsel has proved beyond doubt and that the court is satisfied with the procedure followed by the party, saying the senator was accorded the opportunity to defend himself but deliberately refused to do so. Two APC members, Abdullahi Suleiman and Yushawu Usman of Kolere and Sabonlayi wards, Mubi North local government area respectively, sued the senator and sought for an interpretation regarding his status in the APC. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. How Abuja middlemen milk tenants dry. Stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Residents of the Federal Capital Territory are hereby alerted to the activities of scavengers, also known as Babambula, which security agencies have identified as a high-level security threat to not only the residents but also to our infrastructure as they perpetrate petty stealing and acts of vandalism on public utilities. More so, they are drug peddlers, serve as spies to terrorist elements, and are ready-made tools for the public disturbances during which they attack people with dangerous weapons. The Federal Capital Territory Administration therefore reiterates that the ban on scavengers, aka Babambula, operating within the Federal Capital City is still in force. These miscreants are advised to stay off the streets of the Federal Capital City for their own good, as defaulters will be apprehended and prosecuted, including parents of underage children involved in these practices. Relevant agencies are carrying out enforcement of this ban as stipulated. Be law-abiding always. Let's together build the FCT of our dreams. Management announcer.
Daily Trust presents 20th Daily Trust Dialogue. Theme: Interrogating the 2023 Presidential Agenda. Panelists:
Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika, former Chairman, First Bank of Nigeria.
Professor Jibrin Ibrahim, Professor of Political Science and member of the Board of the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD. Dr. Yetunde Anibaba, Lecturer, Analysis of Business Problems, Lagos Business School. Dr. Eugene Enahoro, Human Capacity Development Specialist and CEO, Heltoni Services Limited. Date: Thursday, 25th January 2023. Time: 10 a.m. Venue: NAF Conference Center and Suites, Gwarimpa Expressway, near Next Shopping Mall, Kado, Abuja. For sponsorship and branding participation, contact 081 00 49 1948, 081 65 32 0660, or 080 33 92 8902. The event will be broadcast live on Trust TV.
That's great.
If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Now a recap of our top stories. Female gun runner arrested in Zamfara as bandits release colonel children after ransom payment. Presidential candidate holds strategic meeting with United Kingdom official. Moving on to other stories, a fire outbreak has destroyed 86 shops in Potiskum main market in Yobe State. The chairman of Traders Association, Nasiru Matu, said this to Daily Trust correspondent via telephone interview. He said the disaster, which occurred on Sunday night, destroyed goods worth over 40 million naira. According to him, the cause of the fire has not yet been determined. While confirming the incident, the Executive Secretary of Yobe State Emergency Management Service, Yosema Goje Mohammed, said several shops, stores were affected, where he called on marketers, community leaders and household heads to be cautious during this season. He said people should always ensure that all electrical appliances are off when not in use. Firewood extinguished fully and bush burning must always be monitored. Looking for accommodation in Abuja can be a nightmare. Apart from landlords who price their properties out of the reach of tenants, agents also play a part in making things more difficult. In this report, Neil Sampson speaks to tenants on how they cough out agency fees for accommodation.
It's a center of attraction as the nation's political capital. Though housing estates are everywhere in the capital city, but getting decent accommodation in Abuja is a big headache due to the role of middlemen, also known as agents. These agents introduce all kinds of fees that one is expected to pay before giving any accommodation.
The property market, first of all, I remember back, I think during the 8th Assembly, there was a rule that was passed that landlords should collect no more than 1 year rent. That has not been enforced. And so agents are still charging people 2-year rent, house rent. Then they go beyond that to also charge you things like inspection fee before you even view a property. Tenants would prefer to deal with landlords directly if they do have the choice. However, the landlords may not prefer to deal with the tenants directly if they do have a choice, for many reasons. First thing is, you don't want to get too close to a tenant that you become friends, and then getting your rents from him the next year becomes a problem because you have empathy for him. That's number one. Secondly, of course, a tenant will prefer to have a direct relationship with the landlord so that he can avoid paying the fees of agency fees and legal fees. So definitely it will be much more in favor of the tenant than in the landlord.
Some residents also list some challenges they face when trying to get their accommodation in Abuja.
There are different challenges. Number one, if you want to get a house for the first time, like to get it, especially within the Abuja metropolitan, is how to get it. We are having challenges with the landlords, at the same time with the agents.
The issue of a tenant and landlord is unbearable, because most of the time, when a tenant is looking for a house, the landlord is eager to collect its money. It will never tell the citizen that as you're going into the house that they have not settled NEPA bill, they have not settled water bill. There are many issues in the house.
The thing that is top on the challenges is the overcharging by the agents. Though if you are getting it directly from the landlord, the charging may not be as high as the agents.
Those in real estate business give recommendation on how the government can stop the activities of middlemen.
The Nigerian Justice Commission should actually look into that and have a court system that allows for these kind of cases to be quickly done.
Tenants look forward to government intervention to help stop exploration of the middlemen in getting accommodation in Abuja. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Thank you, Neil, for that report. Also, the dualization of the Abuja-Akwanga Lafia-Makudi Road has eased up transportation challenges faced by commuters. This is the submission of some Benue residents who spoke to Trust TV correspondent Jimmy Azandi. Take a look.
One of the projects the President Muhammadu Buhari-led federal government will be remembered for when it leaves office in May is the dualization of the Abuja to Makudi Trunk A Road. Even though construction is yet to be completed, residents of Daudi in the outskirts of Makudi are elated with the development.
To lessen the congestion on the highway, it will reduce rate of accident on the highway too. And also it will boost the morale of travelers. Because you see, before now, people feel that the road from Makudi to Abuja is a very bad one. Standing here before you, I also benefit from that as a woodwork master, as a carpenter to say. Because when they came and mapped out to where the road expansion could reach, I was out there as a carpenter, opening some structures that were constructed closer to the road. And so it is beneficial.
For me, it's a better development because compared to the road has been before, because of the narrow of this in the road, many of travelers feel so congested, but the expansion of the road make road to travelers to feel so better. So I think that the road is the expansion of the road is benefited.
The development has reduced the number of accidents and stressful transportation that usually characterized movement along the road in the past. It has also made residents to now travel without fear.
I see the road. Where would they pass now, the truth now, pass the older one that time. I achieved for this road this time. Went from here to I went to Makodi. I was due to give motor chance and climb the other side and go my own way. I don't have any problem now, right? No, what make me like the road as in the day too. When I go Makodi, I go there the other rain. Motor the rush quick. Hold up, no there here. As the road day too now, the road will help this community where we dey here.
The residents who praised the Buhari administration said it is good to have witnessed a project of such magnitude. They also urged the president to complete the project before he hands over to the next administration.
That was a response from residents on the dualization of the Abuja-Lafia-Akwanga-Makudi Road. And in business, the Naira exchanged at 461 Naira to the dollar at the investors and exporters window on Tuesday. The figure represented an appreciation by 0.04% compared with the 461.67 Naira it exchanged on Monday. The open indicative rate closed at 460.25 Naira to the dollar on Tuesday. An exchange rate of 462 Naira to the dollar was the highest rate recorded within the day's trading before it settled at 461.50 Naira. The Naira sold for as low as 440 Naira to the dollar within the day's trading. A total of 117.63 million Naira was traded at the official investors and exporters window on Tuesday. And away from Nigeria, Tigray forces who fought a 2-year war against Ethiopia's federal government began handing over heavy weaponry to the National Army as part of an African Union-led peace process on Tuesday. The demobilization of Tigray forces is seen as central to the November 2 ceasefire agreement, alongside the restoration of services, resumption of humanitarian, and withdrawal of Eritrean troops who fought alongside Ethiopia's army but were not party to the truce. The conflict created famine-like conditions for hundreds of thousands of Tigray's population, killed thousands and displaced millions across northern Ethiopia. The handover in the town of Agule, around 30 kilometers, 18 miles northeast of the regional capital, Mekele, was overseen by a monitoring team comprising members of the two sides and a regional body, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD. And in sports, the Nigeria Football Federation on Tuesday said it has reviewed downwards the registration fees of clubs would have to pay to take part in the 2023 Federation Cup competition. NFF's acting director of competitions, Ruth David, disclosed that the male clubs would pay 70,000 to be part of the competition, while the female clubs would pay 50,000 naira only. The active director, however, said the competition's 2023 program itself was unchanged from what was officially communicated to the Football Association in the 36 states and the FCT. The NFF official added that this year's Federations Cup competition in the various states and the FCT would take place between February 18th and March 19th. Dates for the competition's playoff matches, the national draws, and the different stages of the national competition would be determined soon. And with that, we've come to the end of News Update on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across all our media platforms. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Thanks for watching.